Okay, how to manage Google Local Service Ads 2025 updated version of this. So hopefully you know how to get to it. You just Google Local Service Ads, click sign in, auto recommend. You can click Control D to bookmark the page. You could also add it to your desktop. It's really, really vital that you are checking this every single day, or have someone at the company checking this every single day and being on top of this because time is of the essence when managing local service ads. Unfortunately, local service ads has not allowed a lot of automation. And so in every other part of advertising, we're able to automate missed call text packs. So you can do AI answering services to prevent missed calls, but that's about it. But aside from using an answering service, whether AI or not, you really need to be inside of this dashboard every single day. Um, the reason why it's so important is because the main ranking factor for Google Local Service Ads is the response time score. So, um, whoever answers the most phone calls consistently and whoever responds to messages the fastest ranks the highest is the general rule. There's a lot more that goes into rankings. Besides that, you have good photos and a large service area. You need to be open more. Depends on how many competitors there are, how long you've been in business, all sorts of other things, your bid, your budget, etc. But the most important one is the response time score by far. Everything else, you could have everything else perfect, but you could be missing one call out of five, and you would never get another lead again because your competitors are only missing 1 out of 10. And so that's just how it is. The reason it's that way is because Google is a for-profit company and they want money and they're not able to charge you. See, all these are not charged because they're missed calls. Uh, when you log into local service ads, first thing to do is go to the menu, go to leads, and then by default, it will be any lead status. I always recommend first filtering this by new. That will show you your to-do list. So these are the ones that need to be done ASAP. Every second that these are here is hurting your business. So the bolded one is one that no one's ever clicked on. Notice this one bold before I clicked on it. Now it's not. That doesn't really matter. But here's the phone number, what they were calling for, and then the charge status. So this one was charged because Google was able to tell that they're asking for a specific service that this client offers. So they charged them even though they didn't respond to the message. You can respond to messages multiple ways. So messages come into the email, the phone number, and on Google Open Service Ads dashboard. You can respond in any of those three places. So if I text back the lead or respond to the email with a message or come in here and reply to the customer, that's fine. All three of those count. But this needs to be done within minutes, if possible. Uh, because, I mean, this is almost a month ago now that they said this message. And because the client didn't respond quickly enough, um, their ad now is going to have a thing under it that says typically replies in a day. The best one you can get is typically replies in minutes is the fastest, and then it ranges like typically replies in an hour, whole hour, blah, 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 all the way up to a day. And that hurts your conversions and that hurts your rankings for them. And so it's really, really vital. But if you do have some missed messages, all hope is not lost. It is a running average that goes over a 90-day period. So after 90 days, if you have, been really good at responding to messages quickly, your thing will change, saying like typically replies in minutes. So it is forgiving in some extent, but it takes time. So the other thing to do, so that's how messaging works. You need to respond to messages as quickly as possible. I also recommend calling back missed calls as soon as possible. Sometimes you'll have spam calls, and sometimes the spam calls will ring and then just hang up right away. And Google does realize that. And so it's not like it's an end all be all, but uh, definitely try to call the missed calls back as quickly as possible. If you're able to get a hold of them, that is fantastic. When you get a hold of them and you're able to book an appointment, then you want to both mark the lead as booked and rate the lead. Um, by doing that, you're telling Google, I was able to contact them. They're a good lead. You could charge me. In the past, if you marked a lead as booked that was previously a missed call, every single time Google would charge you. Uh, Recently, that hasn't been happening. I'm not sure exactly why. Google's been changing a lot of things, but I just noticed this month in February of 2025 that sometimes they're not charging you for leads that we marked as completed or booked, which is weird. I'm not sure why they're doing that, but we'll see. I mean, it might have just been some tweaks, but anyways, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So mark is booked, rate the lead. If you're not able to get a hold of them within the day, then just archive it. Just call a couple times throughout the day, and then after that, give up and archive. Right? So you shouldn't, by the end of the day, this should be empty. You should have nothing because all of these, as soon as you reply, like let me show you. Sorry, I missed your message. Your message. Are you still looking to get on the show? Here, the link. Oh, interesting. Actually, the operator arbitrator couldn't agree installation did not with you. Oh, so he's totally a spam lead. Or not. So this is something that's actually really interesting. So his family, he's looking for a job. I read it too quickly earlier and thought it was really, and so did Google. So Google did not realize that he's trying to sell them on offering this service because of how it's worded. Uh, but I need just to respond even if it's a spam message. Sorry, Mr. Message, we're not on the tracing. And uh, we are on mute. But no, we're on very good. So I'm gonna respond for the responding's sake, and then I will rate this lead and say very dissatisfied, and say it is a person seeking employment or trying to sell a product or service. And now that lead got moved over to active just from me responding to it. And it might get credited as well. Oh, shit, this is not. Try to find it again because I don't know where it went. Is it this one that was credited already? Okay, perfect. So see that? That's awesome. Google system's getting faster all the time. So because I submitted the rating, they didn't even have to do a manual review. They refunded me. So I just got $50 back added to my account because I told Google it's a bad lead. And so that's why it's so important to rate every single lead. Um, and I'm not able to do it for clients. Like I've tried to figure out a way, but I just don't know. Like I don't know if he called them and reached out or in order to rate the lead. And so it's really something that you have to do internally. You need to be able to rate leads, respond to messages, call people back, and be accountable for that, or have someone on your team accountable for that. I'll be checking on your account, and I also have a full-time VA who's just checking on accounts, making sure that things are updated, adding photos, uh, or letting me know if he notices people are missing leads, stuff like that. But yeah, this is really, really important. So back to the step checklist. So first thing you do, log in, you filter by name. Then you start working on calling back the people and messaging them back. The other thing I recommend doing is just as a principle, I would recommend adding to the customer name. So customer name, customer email, your notes. This is all your personal information. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to be seen by the customer. It's not going to, Google's not using this type of stuff. It doesn't affect rankings by adding stuff to notes. But I do like it when we, uh, let me show you how we're doing it. So like, um, I trained this guy on doing it and he's been doing a good job implementing, what I recommended. And so he just like adds to the customer name if he doesn't know the customer's name, what 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 it is, like not ready. Or you could write follow up, like follow up in a week or whatever you notes you want to put really quickly there. You could kind of use this as a quick CRM. So when he logs back in, he can remember, call him again. Or, if you did get there, you can also put their name, not ready, or whatever notes you want to use. I mean, you can kind of personalize it and use it how you want. But these guys have been doing a really good job. Yeah, so if you're looking for employment and we got accredited because he submitted the rating. All right, perfect. He's doing a great job. He's gotten all of these refunded already. He's done all the ratings. There's nothing in new. This is what a healthy local service ad account looks like. And they're getting a couple $1,000. I mean, lots of leads. And they're getting as many as they want, which is great. So that's what it really should be looking like. You use the notes and also, yeah, that's the main thing. So just to recap what all of these things mean. So new is for missed messages. Active is for after you responded. Booked whenever you book an appointment to do an inspection. Completed after the date of the inspection passes. The booked automatically moves to completed. Archived is like the junk drawer. It's just trash. You could also filter. I mean, if you want to, I like looking at this side of stuff. Sure. I don't know if a lot of other people do, but it is nice to see how many credited leads you're getting in a month. Sometimes you can see oh, I noticed we got charged a lot of money this month. I feel like we didn't get a lot of real leads. But you want to look to see how many credited leads you got that month. Because how credited leads work is you get charged initially for the lead and then it gets credited. So the next billing cycle or the next month, sometimes uh, it you get discounted that credited amount. And so it rolls over. And so sometimes it'll feel like, oh, I paid a lot of money. Then you you actually only paid maybe less if you calculate it out. Um, yeah. So anyways, that's how you manage it. The only other thing to note is let's see. Um, you should always be, I don't really want to show customers information, but you need to occasionally check business verification tab to make sure that the license is not expiring, the insurance is not expiring. And anytime you get new photos, go to the profile and budget tab, add new photos. Um, and yeah, that's like the basics. Everything else I'll cover on another video about optimizing. But this is like the nitty gritty of how to manage the actual leads.